Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Larkin, one half of the Steve and Mike Show. www.steveandmikeshow.com is up and running, where you can hear such shows as you're about to hear today. This is another edition of On the Mic with Mike. And once again, this is another LFC interview. Love working with the LFC talent, and especially this one we got on the line with you. I got the champ. I got Roxy Roundhouse Michaels on me today. Roxy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Lo. How are you? Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. I gotta say, I love the LFC. I love the work that you're doing. You're the champ right now. We saw you get the win over Monica Flowerbomb Garcia in an amazing encounter at LFC 25. You're taking it to the pay window. You're on top of the world. You're the champ. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Like, I feel on top of the world. I feel fresh. I feel good. I feel me. And you know, what better way to represent the team by being the champion?
Exactly, because the black team was repping it. People say about what you say about, what a lot of people say in regards to your coach, Mr. Coach Kane. Great dynamic with him and Coach Hader, but the pink team's wearing the gold right now.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? Like, our coach, he's a very interesting character. He's a very interesting character, but some way, some form or fashion, he's like the yin to our yang.
I think that's wonderful because, like I mentioned, very unorthodox methods, but his methods help as we could see a lot of talent like yourself. You're the champ, a lot of great talent on that pink team. And I mean, you yourself, even you once, I did see what I love watching about the reality show for LFC, you pushing your own coach there in the pool, probably one of the most memorable moments on that show.
Oh yeah, that is it.
Yeah.
Like, look, like a lot of people may say like, oh, how I want the coaches over was because of my look or anything like that. You know, that might be 50% of the chance, but the other 50 is how I deliver everything else in the ring. So a lot of people, they think it's based off of my look. I think it's based off my skill and how the way I carry myself.
Agreed, and I think what's amazing about it is because all you girls work hard. We see the videos that are posted with LFC with training with the likes of Greg Frito, who's mentored by the Mayweathers and the drills that you guys do, and just the overall training. But you guys are constantly on the go, and that's what makes you the superb fighters that you are.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and what better way to have like a great supporting team and, each and every one of the girls, they train hard, they study hard, they try to be adaptable to their environment and their surroundings. And, like I told coach before he got pushed in the water, I worked my butt off throughout all my whole life to get to where I'm at. And I'll be damned if I let anyone else try to deter that away from me.
And I think for you with Lingerie Fighting Championship LFC as a whole, I mean, you guys have a great blend. There's so many people with different backgrounds, and whether it be mixed martial arts, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing. Besides the skill factor, I think the three key elements that exemplify you women have got to be beauty, strength, and dominance, not just as competitors, but as overall women in general.
Yes, absolutely.
And I have to say this to you as well because we got a calendar out now, and I got to tell you something, Roxy. I got that calendar, and it came out amazing. Every girl looked great, including yourself, cover girl, doing your thing on the LFC calendar. Can you talk about the calendar with us?
Oh yeah, so every one of the girls, I think is a wonderful idea. I'm kind of glad that each one have their own individual, month, and then there's some that actually shared, which I thought that was very unique. So I feel that each month of every month, you have like a different girl that represent who they are, what they like, what they're about. So it's like for January, it's like Flower Bomb, she's a party girl. So obviously her theme is representing party. As far as like, Sugar Punch, she loves snowboarding. That is her thing. As for me, as being the cover girl, it's like I like a variety of things. So I'm kind of glad in a way, that I don't have much of a theme that's going on with me, because I like a variety of multiple things. I highly doubt that a guy want to see like a girl either like with a gun or a spear, or archery, shooting at something, So that might be a little bit intimidating for them. But they did see like a softer side of me being in my lingerie.
Well, I gotta tell you, as a man who, like I said, as a kid, to incorporate some pop culture into this, like, I used to go to Pathmark and get, like, all those, like, your stickers and your posters and all that. I used to have calendars, whether it be for wrestling or whatever different sports, and I think it's wonderful that, from a merchandising standpoint and just for an overall advertising business standpoint, if you will, that LFC has this, and I urge anybody to check it out, because it truly came out great. It exemplified you, it exemplified Monica, like you mentioned, with her month, and Serena Honey Punch Kyle, the 3-in-1. It's a really unique taste on everybody's different, what they like and just overall what they're all about.
Yes, and I think it's a great way, like everybody who actually buys the calendar, you get a surprise every month, flavor of the month.
I was about to make another pop culture reference, 'cause as soon as you said flavor, God rest his soul, Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear started playing in my head.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's what's great about all you girls, and I think what's also very interesting is you've had so many memorable. And what's great about your fights is because you go the distance, like you literally go the distance. A lot of your fights have ended in decision. Roxy, or split decision, like we saw with Monica. You're now the champ, and amazing fight. And I'll talk to you about one fight in particular here, because I want to talk about your opponents, because you've had many memorable matchups. I'm going to talk about one in particular, Shelly Aphrodite de Silva. Shelly, somewhat kind of a controversial figure, with biting, how she got suspended, and we all now see on the black team with Agatha Cannibal Carter, she's known to bite her opponent. So I got to ask you, what was that like getting in there with Shelly for what, the biting incident, and just, she has that very any means necessary approach. Can you talk about working with her?
Oh, man, like biter, man. Talk about, she was a feisty one, but obviously, like, the crowd and even the coaches and even the other girls, that saw our matches in the back, they knew that we had, like, a lot of fire. They knew that we had, like, a lot of determination and ambition to try to one-up each other. And, all I saw, and I'm pretty sure all she saw, was just complete red. We were just ready to rip each other's eyes out.
And I think, again, that made for another memorable fight. And what's also great about Shelly is, like I said, you gotta, like, respect the attitude. Like you mentioned, she's feisty, but you gotta be like that, you know what I'm saying? Just, it's the overall confidence level of, going into these fights, going into every different matchup, and approaching it differently.
Yeah, I think that, like, what also, like, kind of made her even more frustrated is that I was too calm for her. But that's what I throw people off a lot, like, why should I throw my opponent off by showing how frustrated or exasperated as I am? If I'm calm, cool, collected, they can never, figure out what move I'm going to do next.
I think that's a great way to go into it, because, as history tells us, one Teddy Roosevelt, speak softly and carry a big stick, and you went in there all cool, calm, and collective, cool as a cucumber, some would say, and you did your thing.
Yes, absolutely. It's like, I like to observe my opponent while they always like to be the one charging. So I tend to always find their weak points.
It's kind of like, again, to like equate it to something, it's like the Karate Kid. You can equate it to both, the one with Jaden Smith and Ralph Macchio, when he's looking at the snake and he's looking at, and they're doing the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's looking, the heads are moving at the same time. So you're sizing them up, and it's a great strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely to go with it, especially in way of life.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, absolutely. With Go to Way of Life. Another one I gotta mention, man, y'all did your thing with the costume brawl. You took on Raya, Sugar Ray Ryans. That was another memorable one. You got ladies got to dress up and look beautiful and accentuate that, as always. So I gotta tell you, talk about being in that costume brawl and just having fun with that from a sexy and a fighting standpoint.
Actually, I had a lot of fun. I actually had a lot of fun. The only thing I was concerned is like, oh my gosh, like, those white knickers I was wearing, it's like I was praying to God they don't rise up, because it gets uncomfortable and everything. But other than that, you kind of totally forget about it, and I guess, Sugar Ray, she was definitely like the sailor. I was like the schoolgirl, but I kind of felt like it was like a little bit of like rival schools in that scenario.
Well, I gotta tell you, it made for an interesting fight, and I guess the iconic image that a lot of people, because I think for men, I think a lot of people look at the schoolgirl kind of thing as like it's kind of like a fantasy, so to speak. I mean, you equate it to what we saw in the late '90s with the Britney Spears "Baby One More Time," and we see a lot.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. And I was thinking like Kill Bill or rival schools,
That applies.
Except I don't have like the long chain and the ball,
Well, you you were in the right ballpark, but I mean, I understood what you were saying, but still, I mean, the Britney Spears and all these like naughty schoolgirls or whatever, because you see that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and for instance, I'm going all over the place with these pop culture references, but look at the '80s. Go to the '80s, Van Halen, Hot for Teacher. I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? It applies. It applies.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely for sure. Gosh, I forgot about that. Britney Spears.
All right, you see, now you're taking me back. I just had to pause for a second because I'm like, man, 20, that's already 20 years now. And I'm like, ugh, because, that's in 98, 99. I'm like, Jesus, ugh. And I'm a 90s kid.
I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm ancient.
No. But in all seriousness here, we also get to, what's great about the LFC is we've seen so many events in Las Vegas, Kansas. You guys got to go to Slovakia, Bratislava. Can you tell us about just the traveling and that all experience? Because I think just traveling to new places and different cultures. Can you talk about that aspect?
Oh gosh, I love it over there. Like the people there, they were so nice, and you meet like a lot of interesting new individuals. Like especially when I was over there in Bratislava, I ended up meeting the owner and CEO of Playboy Slovakia and his missus, who is the editor in chief of Playboy Slovakia. So since then till this day, I still kept in touch with them. They're great people, and they were so nice enough to like show us around and invite us to like their Playboy party at the clubs and everything. And showing me like different cuisines, to different drinks, and great way to network. Who knows? Who knows if there might be Playboy down the road.
I gotta tell you, I hope so, because I guess to equate it to like wrestling, like you see them going to the UK and all over the place. Like I'd love to see LFC, just the dynamic that you would see in like the UK or Japan, Mexico, or even like the Northeast, California, all over the place. I think there's so many different markets and so many different demographics that could really, really get and not only introduced to LFC, but just see a great product and great content all in all.
Yes, absolutely. And I can't wait to see and travel more. Like, I want to be able to travel the world. And, with LFC, I was able to do that and meet all sorts of people and fans. If it wasn't for the fans, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
I got to tell you another thing. Speaking of Bratislava and Slovakia, I got to mention, because I loved this encounter, and personally I'd love to see it, because we're going to talk about future challengers going forward with you. I think another one that took you to your limit, I got to talk about Jessie El Toro Santos, an amazing encounter that we saw there. Can you talk about working with Jessie?
Oh, gosh, she is great. She is definitely like my toughest competitor, that I actually went against. Like, she's strong, and she has like a lot of height, more than me, especially like her weight. And she has like the MMA and UFC background. So she definitely did like, quite a number on me. I knew that she was strong, but I did not know how strong she was until I got in that ring with her. And she definitely lived up to the name.
And I got to tell you something right now. Besides speaking to your, taking to your limit and all of that, I got to say, definitely someone who's got to be, as the champion that you are, a future opponent. For what we saw the first go around, I'd love to see what we get the second time around with you too.
Yes. I mean, like, she's definitely like a worthy opponent. Like El Toro, she's definitely a worthy opponent. She lives up to the name. I wouldn't mind being in the ring with her again. And, just as any other girls on the black team, I'm all up for open opportunities. And, like as how I see with me, I like to add balance to everything. So when things get off balance and when the black team seem to be like, having like a stiff upper lip or acting a certain way, let's just say I'm that balance everything out.
And you do, and it makes for hell of not just television on the LFC reality show, but just in general with these events. And I have to mention this, and I'd be amiss if I didn't mention it. We got to get that rematch between you and Flower Bomb, because I know Flower Bomb wants to get that rematch on you.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she does. I'm pretty sure she does. She's definitely out for vengeance after me after that, but I mean, I'm all up for it. If she's ready, then hey, I'll be ready just as well. Just make sure that she studies hard.
There you go. Another thing I got to mention is I got to talk about your coach, Mr. Coach Kane, very quickly here, because well, we did the LFC draft. They did the LFC draft, and the whole thing where you have a new teammate, you gotta Oh my God, Maria Romano, who's on the black team now, and your coach was going after her on the black team because it's like, Leon, how could you pick someone who's like 40? I believe she's 49 years of age, amazing talent, and she looks great. She to equate to someone like the original, excuse me, LFC champ, Feather the Hammer Patton, and now we saw, unfortunately, she got injured and, she had to retire, and then Monica took over. Now you with that LFC championship. So I gotta say, I think that would be very interesting, just to see that's a future opponent for you right there.
Yeah, I'm all up for it. Like I saw that Leon and our coach, did like some swap ups. I heard of new girls, being drafted into the pink team or black team. I'm all up for meeting them all, and I'm all up for, if they want to have a test of the champion, I'm all up for it too.
Last one I'll say about that is because I mentioned her before. Man, you got Agatha Cannibal Carter. As I said, Shelly bites. She's known to bite, man. We got a lot of biters in there, man. They're trying to up. We saw the great Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, and I got to tell you something. I watched that fight with my grandpa. I was like 5 or 6, and that still, to this day, it's a memorable moment. But as a kid, you're like, oh my God, he legit is biting at his ear. But I think they kind of
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy. I'm trying to wrap my head around what's up with them hiring all these biters.
I know.
Like, I don't know if they're like ankle biters or just biters in general, but, I'm really curious. Like, are they up to something? Are they, like, making a plan that I don't know about?
Like I said, the mind is a great thing, because you know what I'm saying. You got different ways, and it's the psychology about it. But I mean, psychology with biting, but still, I mean, if it's necessary, it's in any means necessary. I get you.
I know. Like, maybe I need to like spray myself or lotion myself with something that they don't bite at. Leave like a bad taste in their mouth. Like, that's what you get for biting me.
Exactly. There you go. New game plans, new strategy. All right, now I have to mention this to you as well, because what's amazing about this is we see a lot of the MMA and pro wrestling tie-ins. Like, it goes back to, you look at like your Ken Shamrocks, you look at your Ronda Rouseys, you look at your Tank Abbotts, you look at your Shayna Baszlers, your Jessamine Dukes. There's so many great MMA pro wrestling tie-ins, and you look at like Invicta, which is women's mixed martial arts, and the proving ground that they have. I got to ask you, all in all, Miss Roxy Michaels, what are your thoughts about this MMA pro wrestling tie-in? So many, both great art forms, both great sports. What do you think about it, all in all?
I love it. I love the idea of it. It's like, what better way to incorporate your martial arts into the world of pro wrestling and vice versa? I feel that both is the benefit to each other and a complement to each other. It all depends on the individual, how they counteract with one another.
Exactly, and I think, like, you just add on to what you said there, it also gets a lot of people, like with LFC, like, if to adjust and just add more styles to them that can make them better as a fighter, and just overall, and just like to equate it to life. So I think that's another balance, like you mentioned, keyword balance, and another great asset for that particular individual.
Yeah, it's like, you don't want to be stick to one thing, and then you'd be way too predictable. Why not have several things underneath your belt and be unpredictable?
Exactly. I like your style. Like I said, just as words to live by. I totally agree with you on that. Another thing I gotta say is, man, what's great about LFC, we're talking about so many great nicknames. We're talking about like Jesse El Toro Santos, Ali Baby Doll Park, Serena Honey Punch Kyle, Maxine the Boss Frost, Natasha Rattlesnake Rodriguez. We can go on and on. But I gotta tell you, you miss sick with kicks. Roxy Roundhouse Michaels is just, you just can throw that roundhouse and boom, that's how you got it, like that.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I was always known for my kicks. Even though like I have like a background on a lot of other things, but like obviously I have a short torso but longer legs, and it's for me.
Well, I think you make it work. I mean, as a kid growing up, and they still play reruns to this day, watching Chuck Norris do his thing as Walker Texas Ranger. He put some mean kicks in on the bad guys, so I get to see. I've always appreciated the art of the roundhouse kick, because just a solid kick, bada boom, goes down like that.
Yes, absolutely, and especially when it hit accurately, your opponent is more than likely to go down.
Exactly, and I think you do what you do with fruition, and I gotta say, I really just cannot wait to see what the future holds for LFC. Congratulations on the calendar, and just congratulations in period, as being the champ, being the top runner, ready to take on all comers.
Thank you so much. I guess you could see in a way I'm like a real life Kung Lee, but Other than that, I mean, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Now, what I love to do about this is because a lot of the girls that get into LFC, like you, and so many great talents in there. What's great about LFC, like I mentioned, beauty, strength, and dominance. I'll say this all in all, but it's just really just again it accentuates you ladies, and I think is wonderful. Also, you get the funny comments because LFC's been putting a lot of those funny comments up because there were so many detractors like, oh, it's just girls, in their lingerie and whatever. You can't take it seriously. But I'm like, I see those videos with Greg Frito and the drills and the work you ladies put in. It's not a joke. And I mean, you could say what you will because, oh, they're in lingerie, but that should not matter because, I see those kicks, I see those punches. You're in for a hell of a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. The clothes doesn't necessarily mean anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'm there like completely butt naked, but at the same token, it's like I'm wearing something comfortable. I'm not wearing something too revealing, and let alone on top of that, I feel sexy in my outfit. And if other people have an issue with that, that's on them. That's not on me. And what better way to look good and let alone kick butt at the same time?
Exactly. It's kind of like Roddy Piper and They Live. I ran out of bubblegum, chewing bubblegum and kicking ass at the same time. I'm just all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just all over the place with that. Like, I mean, kick butt and just you feel good, and you just feel good as a woman, like you said. I think that's wonderful, and it adds just to the overall character that you ladies all show. So again, much love to you on that front. And I have to actually, this is where I give you the final word here, Miss Roxy Roundhouse Michaels. Skills with the kicks. Sick with the kicks. We can be here all day, but I gotta say to you, there's a lot of great girls that want to be in LFC and a lot of people that just want to, check out the product. So do you have any final words or any advice you'd want to give to girls that want to pursue a career in LFC or whatever?
Well, with all of the girls, I mean, continue doing what you're doing, and I'll see you in the octagon ring.
And I guess just in general, because there's so many, we see a lot of hopefuls and we see a lot of new people in LFC. Any advice to those girls?
Yeah, work smarter, not harder.
Wow. Okay. That's good. Work smarter, not harder. True that. True sentiments. That's what I say. That's what I love. That's what I love about you, Roxy. You're straight to the point, just very relaxed, and you let your actions speak for you. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. My action speaks louder than my words.
Well, Miss Roxy, this is where I step back. If you'd like to promote your social media, LFC, go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Yes, you can find me on LFC, or you can find me on Instagram, which is Lady RM. You can also find me on Twitter, which is one Renee Michelle. So, but be sure to check out more so on LFC on Twitter.
All right. Now, I'll be honest with you again. I cannot wait to see what we got going on with LFC. I look forward to the champ dude just kicking butt and just doing your, new fights coming, fresh matchups, new talent. It's a fun and exciting time for the future of LFC. And this is, again, where I'll step back once more. Do you have any final words for the fans?
No, thank you for supporting me. Without you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And without you all, I am forever grateful.
Okay, well, I'll add one more words. For this wonderful lady who I love, always interacted with, it's always a pleasure, and I can't wait to work with you again.
Yes, thank you so much.
No problem. So, I'll just add that. For Roxy Roundhouse Michaels, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you guys for listening to another interview. More LFC stars to come, and just stay tuned. Just really stay tuned and check out LFC. Links will be in the description. My name is Mike Larkin, and we're out. Thank you for listening.
Thanks.